I don't go to the Tupperware parties, if I'm home when he comes home from work, then he'll stop this. And before I knew it, I was totally isolated.
Sure, if it's only the Tupperware parties that he has a problem with.
Oh, yeah. It didn't make any difference. I found that I kept giving and giving, and it didn't make the situation any better. He'd throw furniture around the house, he'd tear the house apart, put holes in walls, things like that. And I used to say, I don't care if he does that as long as he doesn't come after me, And
what a tolerant woman.
Oh, yes. No, I very low self-esteem is what it was. I got into Al-Anon, and I kept hearing, I was in for almost a year, and I kept hearing repeatedly that once the violence starts, it won't get any better. And I kept telling my sponsor that I wanted to leave him, but I was afraid. I didn't have a job. At one point, I had 2 little kids, 1 3, 1 2, and he wasn't even 2 yet. I was pregnant with the third, and I was told nobody would ever hire you. You couldn't get a job. Nobody would want you. If you try to go on welfare, I'll take the kids away. And
he's saying all this to reinforce,
yeah. Yeah, and I'm believing it at this point. Men like that, like everybody said, have a tendency to make you look like you're crazy. And I think you lose a real concept of reality. You start seeing you through their eyes, that you are worthless. And one of my Al-Anon sponsors said to me one day, when it comes down to him or your sanity, you will pick your sanity. And one morning when he was in a blackout, because he had come home about 4 in the morning, totally drunk and passed out on the couch, I was in my room trying to get my then 2-year-old to stop throwing a temper tantrum, and he came up behind me and grabbed me by the neck and tried to strangle me. And it was like a light switch going on and off. You could see when he realized what he was doing, and the hands would loosen on my neck, and then all of a sudden his face would change and they'd tighten again. And at one point he finally, after pounding on my arm and stuff like that, threw me on the bed, started to walk out of the room, and my 2-year-old son went up to him and pulled his hand back as far as he could and swung it and hit my ex in the thigh and said, "Don't you hit my mommy, you dummy." And I just froze. I didn't know if he was going to, hit the baby or what he was going to do. And he walked out of the room, and I called the police, and this was back in the 70s also. And the police's attitude, even though I had scratches and bruises on my neck, on my arms, you could tell I was beaten up, they said, "Well, we didn't see him do it. We'll write him a citation. We'll leave here. He can beat you up. We'll be back in a half an hour and we'll do it again."
Sounds like the 2-year-old had the most sense out of everybody.
Yeah. And so I told the police that they had to file the report, and they said, "Well, if you call us 3 weeks later and tell us to drop it, we're not going to drop it." And I said, "I won't call you and tell you." And as soon as they left, I took the 3 kids, 2 little kids I was also babysitting, so I had 5 kids under 5 years old with me, walked out of the house, borrowed $5 from my sister, took the car and the clothes on my back. And later got a divorce. He would call in the middle of the night. He'd show up at my doorstep. One time at like 6 in the morning, I got a call from one of the helplines saying they had been on the phone with him all night and he was threatening to kill me, and they had to let me know. He never did. And it was a nightmare. Even when we went to court, though, I looked like I was the crazy one. He just sat there like this nice guy. Like he wouldn't do anything like that. And that gets real frustrating. And
that's what the jury's going to see when they see O.J.
Yeah, that's
smiling and being charming.
Yeah, that's what really bothers me about this whole case. And the fact, like the nurse that called in and said that she had the root canal, and people didn't say anything about the black eye. People don't know what to say and what to do. And I do know that when it came down to my life for him, I walked. And it hasn't been easy. It's been like 18 years. If an adult male yells or screams, I turn into Jell-O. It petrifies me.
It's still with you, huh, after 18 years?
It's still very much with me.
Kathleen, thanks for calling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Telling us your experience in KFI.
More experiences, women who suffered through violent, abusive relationships, especially when the violence escalated as time went on. 643 KFI AM640, more stimulating talk radio.
Our numbers are 520-1KFI in L.A. County and anywhere, 1-800-767-4KFI. Let's check on traffic. And right now we get an update from Mike Nolan, KFI in the Sky.
Good evening, John and Ken. It's been a bit of a slow go for you.
Your true voice.
Stephanie Miller.
I'm a practicing Catholic.
Oh, really? I used to be a practicing Catholic. I got so good at it, I went professional, though.
Stephanie Miller, tonight at 7 on KFI AM640, more stimulating talk radio.
KFI AM640, more stimulating talk radio. John and Ken 647.
Southern California weather from KFI brings us more showers tonight. We'll have a low in the 50s. It should taper off around midnight. And tomorrow, cloudy with a 30% chance of showers and a high in the 50s. 55 degrees at KFI.
Try and show that escalating abuse is more common than anyone wants to admit. We've got women calling in with their stories of the violent, abusive relationships they suffered at the hands of husbands and boyfriends. Many of the cases parallel the O.J. case, and this is inspired after the prosecution released 85 pages of incidents involving O.J. violently abusing Nicole. Many of the entries come from Nicole's journal over the last 17 years. Let's go to Lena in Glendale, first-time KFI. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Lena.
I have been waited for about 1 hour. The reason I was staying is because I would like to say that anyone who said that O.J. with his smiling face that couldn't do such a thing, he really lucky. And they really don't know what they're talking about. And they have no right to say that because it's other people's life. And they haven't experienced it. And they want to say that in front.
People are easily deceived, Lena.
According to their own experience. I have been in a relationship, just like other women have been said, that he's a professional, he's a PhD, and he's all kind, nice, and to all other people, to help other people, and he's so willing, at outside, he's such a good image, not because he intentionally. I do believe that.
What does he do to you?
When we first got married, and he hit me just to a small incident. I was shocked that he would back you, that he did wrong, that he just blew out, he doesn't know what he's doing. Then, the next thing that you know, that immediately your mood swing back and forth.
All right, at the beginning, the first incident was what? Did he slap you?
Yeah, he slapped on my face. Then after that, immediately, and he would,
he'd apologize.
He apologized.
Now, at the end of the relationship,
he cannot live without you, and you are the best for him. So what you do, then you believe in him, because I was so young and experienced.
Yeah.
That
Lena,
was about 5 years ago.
Lena, I'm trying to track the escalation of the violence. When it came to the end of your marriage, what was he doing to you?
Oh, when I came to the end of the marriage, that he threatened to kill me, and he would say, and he acted in front of the friends like he was the person that being abandoned. He was because he was kicked off by a lady, and she had an affair. And he threatened me that to kill me. If I marry that guy, he's going to kill him. And now the marriage
this was after the divorce.
Yeah.
He was threatening. Well, I just want to get clear. You were dating a new man, and he was threatening.
Actually, I'm not dating. It's just in a working place.
I see.
This person helped me a lot, and also in the past, he always jealous. Any kind of situation out of nothing.
He's still after you.
Yes.
Well,
and also now during the process of the divorcing, he always threatened me and to kill me and come here any minute he wanted. Unfortunately, he's been out there in Midwest, and I'm in California. Otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen.
I wish you luck, Lena. Thanks for calling in. We got Rebecca in San Diego, first time KFI. Hi there.
Yeah, hi. How you doing?
Fine.
Pretty horrifying stories.
Yeah.
Really brings back a lot of terror that I had, forgotten about, because it was a long time ago for me. It was actually about 20 years ago. This was a after divorce relationship, and it was kind of a rebound relationship, and I was in it for a few months. It started out with verbal abuse. I feel that if a man can call a woman that he supposedly loves an effing bitch, that he probably can end up murdering her. That's what I believe, the verbal abuse starts out and escalates into.
That's what it started with you?
Yeah, and, I was only there for a few months, but the incident that, was the thing that finally, woke me up to leave was my head was being beaten against the back wall of the trailer, and the words that are going along with this are, "I love you more than anyone else loves you, you stupid bitch." So I decided, well, this kind of love I can do without. I'm getting out of here, So, I got out really quick. But, a lot of the dynamics for a lot of women is they're just too terrified. Their self-esteem is too low. They're too scared to be all by themselves. And so they feel like it's better to be in an abusive relationship with a sick man than it is, to be all alone in the world. And so that's how a lot of women get, stuck in these relationships. But you can go to any recovery meeting. There's tens of thousands of people going to recovery meetings in this country, Al-Anon and ACA and Codependent Anonymous and all that. And you can just hear an unbelievable amount of horrible stories about this kind of stuff going on. Basically, this murder has just blown the lid off of something that, we have a terrible problem with in our country. It's like a man's ego, if it's tied up, his whole identity and his whole ego is completely dependent on owning and controlling the woman that he's with. He will kill her if he can't dominate her. That's where this leads to. It's an illness that these men have, and the women also have their illness that gets them into the relationship in the first place. And I feel that all these personality dynamics of both the man that's abusive and the woman that gets into these relationships, all this stuff, I believe, starts, in early childhood.
Rebecca,
thanks for calling KFI, Rebecca.
We'll try to squeeze in some more calls. 653 KFI AM640, more stimulating talk radio.
To tell people that City National Bank is looking to lend money to successful businesses,
your true voice.
We feel your pain. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Trying to forget my feelings of love.
The Bill Handel Radio Program.
Feelings.
Tomorrow morning at 5 on KFI AM640, more stimulating talk radio.
All right, KFI AM640, 656. Final round of calls. Women who've been in abusive, violent relationships and how the violence escalated. So maybe some people will believe that, just because OJ didn't use a knife in the first 17 years of the relationship doesn't mean he couldn't have used one that horrible night in June. Nancy in Los Angeles, you're on KFI.
Oh, hi. Well, I can say that I've been through what everyone else that has called tonight has been through. So I won't go through my story, but I do have a point to make. And in listening, I want to remind you of this. Was her name Hedda Nussbaum?
Hedda Nussbaum, New York City.
Yeah,
right.
And he murdered the daughter. And I don't know if you saw, but I saw the TV, 60 Minutes or something, when he was finally convicted, and he said, "You people are making me out to look like some sort of pariah." And I loved my, and this and that. I'm sorry.
It's so chilling. Their defense is always, well, I loved her, and I was the victim.
That's right. He said, "I loved my daughter." Well, Hedda Nussbaum was a punch-drunk fighter, and she even looked, anybody...
Well, what happened to you, Nancy? What was the worst thing that happened to you in the relationship?
Well, I was attempted to... he tried to kill me 3 times.
How?
Choking me to death.
All 3 times?
Yes, and but I had a will to survive. And I just, like I say, like many of these other women, I came from an abusive background, but... this particular person, I think it was Lynette that called, that said this, they see they spot your vulnerability.
Yeah. Oh, I believe that, Nancy. Thanks for the call. Karen in San Diego, first time KFI.
Hey, John and Ken, how you doing?
Fine.
Good.
I tell you guys are wonderful, and I'm so happy that you're talking about this, and hopefully it will shed some light.
I'm sick and tired of all the stupid theories and the stupid what-if possibilities.
I tell you, John and Kenny makes me so angry.
What happened to you?
Well, I was in an abusive marriage for 9 years, very abusive. Why I stayed in that marriage for 9 years, trust me, was not because I enjoyed it, and it had nothing to do with love.
What were the first incidents?
Well, the first one was the control, isolating me from my family, from my friends, the verbal abuse. I was nothing, I was stupid, I was dumb. And then the slapping, and then it just proceeded to get worse, to the point of a gun to the head. I could kill you right now, and you, as far as you're concerned, he was capable of it. You know, I mean, many times I faced death during those 9 years.
When you had the gun, when you had the gun to your head, how did you calm him down?
Well, you know, when you live with an insane person, you just, how can I say, you just know what can trigger them. You know, you're just very careful because you know if you make the wrong move, if you say the wrong thing, if you blink the wrong way, that could be it. And that's what I went through for 9 years. My ex had a double personality, like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. People that knew him thought he was the nicest person you'd want to know, soft-spoken, easygoing, would do anything for you. I was the one that saw the evil side of him.
It's such a common theme in all these stories.
It's repeating.
How they fool, not only the public, but friends and relatives, neighbors.
But you know, John and Ken, what's even more frustrating is, like I said, I finally got out of that situation after 9 years, thanks to help to a shelter for battered women, because you keep thinking you're the only one, that nobody else is going through what you're going through, or you'd hear people say, like, well, gee, she must like it because she stays in the situation. And like I said, you stay in it out of fear because you know they're capable of killing you, you know their threats are true, and that they can do it. I was divorced for 5 years from this man. The stalking got worse, the threats got worse, to the point of being near my apartment with a butcher knife.
All this continued after the divorce.
All this continued, right, kept getting worse. And then the 5th year after the divorce, he had was coming after me with a gun, and he was going to kill me. And, I mean, it's 5 years. I mean,
Are you okay now?
Oh, I tell you, John and Ken, let me tell you this. I made a decision. I had to leave the state because I could not go the rest of my life looking over my shoulder wondering if he was going to come after me again. And I talked to a police psychologist, and she informed me that for the rest of my life, I would be in danger.
You still feel that way?
No, I relocated. Nobody knows where I am. And my daughters and I have started a new life. I'm married to the most wonderful man in the world. Just absolutely adore him. He's great.
Gotta go. Karen, we thank you for your story. We do have to go. We're a little late here, but thanks for calling in with your thoughts.
Okay, and thank you again, Johnny.
All right, bye-bye.
A lot of sick people. Okay.
We'll be back tomorrow at 3. Stephanie Miller is next. 7 o'clock, KFI Los Angeles. More stimulating talk radio.
Go on. Do it. Set a button right now. KFI Los Angeles. More stimulating talk radio.
Some new allegations against O.J. Good evening. I'm Terry Ray Elmer with the 7 o'clock news on KFI. They don't make him look too good. We'll tell you more after we check your traffic. Here's Dan Mandis in the KFI Traffic Center.
Thank you, Terry Ray. Well, we have news out of Malibu.